Hello, we made it to day 5, and I want to start by saying something before we dive in. What we built over these 5 days is not a list of things to remember, it's a different way of seeing your business. And once you see it this way, you cannot unsee it. So today is not going to be a recap. Today is the moment everything lands together. Because each and every day I was focusing on certain things, and now I want you to see the full picture and how these things are actually working together. As I told you in day 1, here, what's going to happen here is that all pieces are going to come together in the puzzle. So I'm going to show you exactly what comes first, second, third, so you have the right sequence of actions, and of course what comes next after this masterclass, because this masterclass itself was never meant to be the destination, and you see it yourself. You're getting the vision, pieces are starting to to come together, but this is just the beginning of something bigger. Right now, everything that you took from this masterclass needs to be implemented. Everything needs to start working together. And especially when I spoke about boundaries, about how you are leading people from one step to another, this is an ongoing process. This is not you hear it here once and then you're not doing it. This is something you need to be applying every single day from now on. And this masterclass is meant to be the beginning. This is meant to be step 1, to open up your vision on how you build and position your brand, your offers, and your content for people so they can ascend. Although these topics that I have covered over the last 4 days might look like a lot, or sometimes you felt disconnected from the source, let's call it, there is a great chain and connection between them. I know you might need some time to watch it again, to catch up, to submit your answers, to do the content pieces I gave you in day 3, the homework I gave you in day 3, to do 1, 2, 3 pieces of this, to see what actually lands, what gets the better distribution and reach, or where people are reacting better. And you might need some time to actually be able to check the data, the insights, and to share your breakthroughs with me in the group or in a DM, and that is totally fine. Even if you say, I had enough from all of this and I need to do the work before I continue, I had no attachment to anything, because that was meant to be given to the world. If you know you're ready to stop losing money and you want to have a hyper solid foundation, positioning and messaging, and you want to work with me where I will be next to you every time for every single offer, so you can apply different sales strategies, different ascension points, different entry points, so you can make people love what you do, be obsessed with every single offer that you drop, and buy and stay in every offer, every long-term space. And if you're ready to make the big, like 30, 50, 70, 80, 100K months, or even millions, then simply DM me so we can see what is the best space for you, whether it's going to be an intensive, whether it's going to be one-on-one work, whether you're ready to join the Scale Arrow, which is my 12-month membership. Whatever you decide, just tell me your breakthroughs. I want to see what's happening. Send me a DM. If you need to chat with me for anything, feel free to do so. And we're going to see where are you currently, what's the next step for you, and which space is the best one for you. What we actually built this week is that we stabilized in day one. We stabilized the foundation. You cannot scale without having this foundation and normalizing your current level. You cannot scale what is fractured. You cannot compound from a place of emotional rejection of where you are, if you wish. So the goal for day one was to establish that growth is not always an upward movement, it is stabilization first, compounding second. Then in day two, we spoke about how to build the brand in the world, not as a content, as a world, as a space, as a place where people feel held, seen, led, and expanded. A place where they want to return to, because repeat buyers are not created by simply having better offers or simply having better marketing. If this is the only thing, yeah, you're going to get people come in, but they will not be buying on repeat. So here you see we dove very deep into all aspects of sales. And remember that repeat sales are created by better experience, better client journey, and better experience in your world. Day three was about sharpening your positioning, the scarcity by design, not by FOMO, pricing as a signal, craftsmanship and methodology in the detail, and content that speaks to specific problem through specific lenses. The mythology, the story of a brand that is remembered, not just consumed. And yesterday in day four, we raised the standard. We spoke about clean sales, clean offers, clean buyers, the whole ecosystem, the offer ecosystem, how people enter, what's your core offer, and what's the ascension path. And the most important shift for sales on repeat, and one thing you need to remember and understand, it is that content comes from your offer. If you want to make sales, double down on positioning your offer. Use revenue-led positioning and show your audience the solution. Stop posting some inspirational or aspirational vague content. Lead to the solution, not the other way around. And of course, you're going to have some pieces of content that do not have CTA, that do not lead to an offer. But make sure that your content mix has also very clear offer positioning and this problem solution aware content where people can actually buy from you. And today I want to close the loop and to talk about the things that code all of it together. Here is what I have seen again and again in working with a lot of coaches, service providers who are extremely talented, established, and still plateauing. The thing is that just like you, they have the knowledge, the offer, and most of them even have the audience. What they don't have is a system that holds it all together so that every sale leads to the next one. And if I have to summarize, this is what I want you to understand about how sales on repeat are actually happening and what is the roadblock currently in your business. Because right now, most of you are probably like, your business looks like this. You create content. It's not high converting. So someone finds you. Not all of them are buying. Not all the people in your audience are buying. Only a few people actually buy something. You deliver this, and these few people disappear instead of ascending and becoming repeat buyers. So then you have to start again. And this is a very heavy cycle. And if you keep running your business like this, it's going to be extremely exhausting. This is literally costing you six-figure a month, six-figure months. So this cycle is so exhausting because it requires you to recreate momentum from near zero every single month. And that masterclass, Sales on Repeat, is the architecture that breaks that cycle. And my wish for you is to really, really dive deep into everything that I have told you so far and to apply these principles in your brand, in how you build your world, in how you lead your clients, in the content that you're writing, in the way that you are attracting and converting people, the way that you upsell them, the way the standards in your world are actually set up. There is a huge difference between a business that resets and a business that compounds. And if you apply all of this, you will make 3 times more money with less people. And that's the art, that's the mastery, that every client of yours wants to stay with you, they refer you, and every new person that comes also buys again and refers you. And this is when, at a certain point, everything starts compounding. And it is built, this thing, this ecosystem is built on 4 things working together. That is the positioning that attracts and pre-qualifies simultaneously. So the right people arrive understanding what you do, who is it for, and why is it worth investing in. You're not convincing, you are confirming. Remember that when you're writing sales content, you need to position your offer and your work in a transformational way and to have this very strong leadership, leading people into the solution, into the transformation. And this has a big part in your content strategy, in the way you're writing your content. And I see that right now, most of you are not using this. Some of you are doing it, but not consistently enough. Some of you prefer to post this vague aspirational content, and that is why people are commenting on your posts and there is engagement. Probably your views are pretty high, but very little people actually buy. And you're asking why I'm posting content. Yes, you're posting content, but the positioning of the offer is not clear. It's not revenue-led positioning. You are not always positioning your offer as the ultimate solution, where this transformation and this magic happens. So the second principle is that content comes from the offer. Every post, every live, every story is doing positioning work, building desire, filtering buyers, and moving people through a journey without you manually pushing everyone. What I mean under manually is when you have to build so strong connections, to nurture people for months, to literally escort them to the checkout page and to almost click pay for them. And this is exhausting. This is not a normal business. Then comes the offer ecosystem with the designed ascension path. So when someone buys, there is a natural next step waiting. They do not disappear after the first result or after 3 or 4 weeks. They see the next level, they feel ready for it, and they move toward it. A buyer experience is the 4th thing. A buyer experience so well led that loyalty is the natural outcome. I want you to think of the buyer. If you are your buyer, how do you feel before you buy, when you read your content, when you enter your world, and when you already take the first step? Is it clear for you how to continue? Is there any clear transformation, or what is it? How is it? Think of this. The buyer experience is something extremely important. And if people are not feeling that they are solving their situations, that they can keep growing, and they are not seeing the next step, what's happening? The buyer experience must be so well led that loyalty is natural outcome. So clients refer without being asked, return without being chased, and become the proof that brings the next generation of buyers in. When these four things work together, your revenue does not reset. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel hard. It simply works, builds up, and compounds. What's next? You can come in my upcoming messaging program, Content Reach, where we are going to work specifically on this revenue-led positioning, but in depth for each and every offer of yours. You're going to see how exactly to write this content, because I know right now I gave you a couple of examples, but this is a skill that you need to learn to train so you can naturally do it. And even if you are using AI, you need to know the main principles so your content doesn't sound like generic AI that is all over the place and you're blending in. And if you do not know these principles, AI is going to just amplify this. But when you know how to position the offer, how to speak to your premium buyer, how to actually write the content that makes them obsessed, AI is an amplification tool of this. And it is going to help you write it 10 times better, to write 10 pieces of content in 10 minutes, and to make sales. But if you don't know this, it's going to be something very generic, and you will be saying, I keep posting, but nothing happens. The other space you can come in, this is the scale era, where we work for 12 months on these four main elements: the messaging, the sales system, the offers, the repeat sales, the buyer journey. So we can create loyalty, we can create compounding revenue, we can make it easy, fun, cool, and everything flowing. This is where you're going to access everything I will be launching in the next 12 months. And you will also have access to weekly calls with me. Or if you want to keep the level very high, just as we started here, and to have all these deep conversations, the leadership, the craftsmanship to build a powerful, remembered and desired brand long term, then my mastermind is for you. In any case, just DM me if you want this high level work with me, and we're going to chat. We're going to see what's your current stage, where are you currently at, what's happening, whether it is better for you to start step by step, or if you're ready for the scale era membership, where you're going to have access to all the things that you need, but only the important things. And where you can start right now is that your content has the power to make multi six figures or bury your business down. The content problem that is quietly costing you a lot of money every single month, and I will be speaking very directly to this before I close this masterclass because I see it everywhere. And it is the single biggest leak in the business of coaches and service providers who are at your high level. Your content is not converting at speed and at the potential that you have, not because it's bad, but because it's not built from your offer, you're not using revenue-led positioning, and you are not showing your full potential. And what we want is that you can convert high-ticket buyers from your current audience or anyone who just found you from your content alone, so you don't have to do sales calls or to chase people or to nurture them for months and years and to, just waste your time. Right now you're writing about what you know, so you position yourself as an expert about your journey, about your values, about some concepts and ideas that are generally great and useful, and your audience likes it, they learn from it, they engage with it, but they do not buy your highest level offers from it alone. Let me know in the comments if this is happening with you right now. If you know that you can convert 10 times more from your content alone. And even if your content is currently converting and people are asking you how to work with you, imagine if you make it hyper powerful, hyper clear, hyper positioned for exactly who this offer is for, and repels everyone who is not committed enough, who is not ready enough. So imagine if you have like people simply buying from one piece of content, your high ticket spaces, and let's say even 3 people buy from one piece of content. And if they buy your 5K offer, this is 15K from one piece of content. Without sales calls, people are pre-qualified. These are the right buyers for this offer. They enter, they have great results, they love it in your world, and they buy again. How much is the ROI of this for you? It's tremendous. It's limitless. But probably your content right now is not showing them specifically, precisely, and repeatedly what problem your premium offer solves. What is the transformation? What does it look like? And why the cost of not solving this is higher than the investment itself. And when you adjust, sometimes it's a tiny adjustment. Sometimes it's just we're adding one paragraph to your current piece of content, and in 15 minutes you have a sale. This is something very regular for my clients, because the shift happens like this. And content that used to get likes starts getting DMs. People who used to lurk start asking about your programs. Buyers who used to need like 3 conversations start signing up from one piece of content. And if I can do this with an audience of 1,000 people and to have 4-figure sales behind the scenes, what could you do with your 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 followers? Only if you learn and master how to write content and to position your offer. Because now your content could be doing the selling before you even open your mouth. And when I will give you this example, the side effect of this, I told you yesterday, my content just got monetized. So now I'm literally making money in my sleep because of my content. And even it's $100 or euros, this is an added value. This comes from content that you're posting anyway. But that only comes, I told you yesterday, that only comes when your content and positioning is extremely on point. It's not going to come from vague content that people do not like. And that's why the next step is, and that's why I built Content Rich. This is a focused high-level program for coaches and service providers like you who want to make sales from every piece of content and make people obsessed with buying from you. Because you cannot have sales on repeat if you don't have the first sale, right? So this is, everything is chained. Right now, you can make 10 times more sales. But you need the hyper sharp content and positioning, and then to apply everything that we discussed on sales on repeat. If you already have an audience, or even if your audience is small, but it's growing, and your content is not currently converting that audience like wildfire into consistent high-ticket buyers, we need to work on this. You need to master your content. If you currently have people watching you, some of them buy sign up or buy low ticket spaces, some buy maybe a little bit higher ticket offer, but like your premium spaces and your high ticket offers have just a few people inside, or like there are 10 people, for example, but there could be hundreds of people. And this gap is costing you 6 and even 7 figures. The gap here is the way you're communicating it, how you position it for premium buyers, for people who are obsessed with buying the thing as soon as you drop it. And it is the same for the upsells, for the long-term spaces. Content Rich is a program for the coach who wants to make sales from every single piece of content you publish. Not some posts, not the launch posts, from every post. When you master this revenue-led positioning, the visibility to sales method, I will give you something that is going to increase also your visibility organically. And when you know how to make people obsessed with buying from you, they will be buying everything you drop. And your sales compound. The lurkers become buyers, the subscribers become premium clients, the people who have been watching you for months finally move. Because now your content speaks directly to the problem they are sitting it, shows them the transformation that is possible, and makes buying feel like the only logical and emotional next step. Inside Content Rich, I will give you the complete system, because this is a system for how to make people obsessed with buying from you. From the revenue-led position that makes your offer undeniable, to visibility to sales method that gets your content pushed organically to the right people, the activational content that moves people from interested to invested. This is when your content gets seen, that it activates people and it fills your high ticket spaces without sales calls, without chasing, without convincing or manually selling each person through. One premium client closed from content alone covers this investment 10 times. And I'm going to tell you what we are going to cover. So, of course, this is the revenue-led positioning. The first session is diving very deep into revenue-led positioning. I will show you exactly where your current content is not using revenue-led positioning. So we will get ruthlessly clear on what your core offer actually solves, who is it specifically for, and how to communicate it, how to write it. So the right people self-select immediately and they are like, I am in. Then you're going to learn how to use my brilliance lens. This is how to take your brilliance and show it to the world. How to write to multiple angles, how to use micro moments in different formats of content. So you never run out of content and never repeat yourself. And most of all, you show your brilliance to people so people know what's happening behind the scenes. Right now, your brilliance is hidden behind the scenes and the world doesn't know how brilliant you are. And when you learn how to position this, how to showcase your brilliance, your genius, everything changes. Then I'm going to show you the visibility to sales method. This is how to create content that is organically distributed by the algorithm, that gets shared, saved, and seen by new audiences without you being on every platform. It shows you what your audience wants and needs at any given moment and positions you as the ultimate leader for them. This is visibility and distribution as a system, not as a hope. Not as let me go viral just for the sake of it, but for the sake of being seen by the right people and having them come in your world. And then comes my favorite, absolutely favorite type of content. This is the obsessed framework. This is like almost every piece of content that I post brings me leads, sales. It works behind the scenes. It works on social media, everywhere. This is how to write content that makes people obsessed with being in your world. The psychology of desire, attachment, and compounding brand loyalty, but in depth, in the exact framework to use for writing your own content. Because here I gave you the concept of compounding brand loyalty and what builds desire, but there in Content Rich, in this program, I'm going to give you the exact framework of how to write your content and how to build your content in a very intentional way, and how to write these like 5-10 pieces of content in no time. So in 1 hour, you can write 10 pieces of content and have for the next 2 weeks. And this is going to convert. This is going to have people sign up and enter or directly come into your high ticket spaces. This framework alone will make you 6 figures. Then I'm going to show you how to write activational content that moves people from interested to buying. How to make the cost of inaction visceral. The decision made obvious, the urgency created without pressure or FOMO. Then I will show you how to write the brand builders. This is the content that shows what your brand stands for, the top 3 things you want to be known for, written in a way that makes your positioning unforgettable and your authority undeniable. I'm also going to show you how to make 5-figure lives, how to show up live on social media or anywhere in the world, showcase your brilliance and add 5 figures to your bank account in less than 30 minutes. And when you master this, you can show up on stages, you can talk to someone in the coffee shop and make a sale. This is a content system, the content system that makes every piece of content a sales asset. Remember, I told you your positioning, your visibility, your content are assets. And as the side effect, attention please, this will probably get your content monetized if you're still not. That's, my content got monetized with 1,000 people alone, like 2,000 people in my ecosystem as a whole. And that is your proof that Content Rich works even with a tiny audience. This program is built for one particular outcome. What I want for you is that every piece of content you create and share becomes a sales asset that fills your high ticket spaces without you chasing, convincing, needing to have thousands of sales calls or like manually selling each person through. At this stage, I only do sales calls if it's for one-on-one or mastermind because I just want to meet the person and talk to them. But otherwise, for anything else, I don't do sales calls. I have mastered this and I can sell someone in the, if you wish, in the DMs or to have them in by like just seeing my content. And I'm speaking of 4-figure sales from my content alone. When your content is built from your offer outward, speaking to the exact problem your premium work solves, showing the exact transformation, activating the right buyer, your audience stops browsing and starts buying. The coaches using the content rich framework don't just get better at writing. This is not about writing skills. This is about sales skills. It's about making sales and getting rich from content alone. You want to fill spaces that were half empty? This is for you. You want people to ascend, people who were stuck at the free tire or using your, this is the worst place, using your content as a free library, transforming and not even paying you. So this is for you if you are in this situation. And if you want to close high ticket clients directly from one post, no sales calls or endless DMs warming up or chasing people, this is for you. 2 clients closed from content alone at the premium price point covers the investment 10 times over. That's what we are building inside. And this is for you if you currently have an audience, even a tiny one, but they're like not actively buying and your high ticket spaces are not filling from content alone or not as much as you know it should be. If you want to have a hot audience regardless of its size, if you are wanting consistent, if you're writing and posting consistently, but the content is not creating the buying urgency you need. If you know, and you know this, and I also know this, that your offer is so strong and what you can offer to your people is so strong, but they are simply not seeing the full value, the full spectrum of your brilliance. And so they are not buying like crazy. And if you want a system, not just more tips, so that content creation becomes clean, strategic, repeatable, acts as if like it compounds over time, then this program is for you. Content Rich is only not for you if you are still figuring out what your offer is, if you're not ready to implement that yet, if you expect that I'm going to give you just some AI prompts, this is not for you. Because I will give you and tell you exactly how to use AI, but you first need to learn the principles. So once you master this skill, ChatGPT, Manus, Cloud, whatever AI tool you're using, is going to be your best friend. And this is going to amplify the content process. This is for the coaches and service providers who are ready to make their existing audience finally buy at the level their work deserves. The investment for you, for everyone here on Sales on Repeat, is 999 euros. You can sign up by DMing me. I will send you the promo code. And if you have shared me over the last 5 days and you win the draw for 500 euros, you can get this offer for 500 euros and you're going to make 6 figures from this content. So that's a no-brainer. When I announce this publicly, the early bird price is going to be 1,997 euros, so double. And the regular price is going to go to 2,997 euros. So make sure you send me a DM and I will send you the details and the promo code and the link. And I want to leave you with this. Everything we covered in the last 5 days, the stabilization, the brand world, the positioning, the clean standards, the offer ecosystem, none of it works without the content that communicates it. Or it's going to work actually, but it's going to be extremely heavy. Once you master this, you will be able to sell online, offline, underline, in any way. But this is communication. These are sales skills, not writing skills. When you build your content and your ecosystem from the right place, from your offer, from your buyer's real problem, from your methodology, from your brilliance, it stops being something you have to do and becomes something that works for you. This is when sales on repeat come in very easily. That's what sales on repeat actually feels like. Not more effort, but a business that holds what you build. And content that saves while you sleep, while you live, while you lead, while you travel, while you enjoy your life. If you're tired of just posting content and not making 5 figures a month, then you should not wait anymore. You should come to Content Rich. And what we will build together, this will be the foundation. You will start. There is an enormous potential you can unlock, but you simply need to move, to make the first step and send me the DM that you're in. Content Rich gives you the messaging system that makes 6 figures a month. Share your insights from the last 5 days with me in the group or just send me a DM. I see that many of you are already applying. I see how you're transforming. I see how you're setting up the standards, and I'm so happy to see you are applying everything that I'm giving you here, or even whatever just resonates with you. You don't need to take everything. Just as I told you, take what resonates right now. Take what makes sense to be deployed. The rest of the things will come at the right moment. But make sure you come and learn how to write this high converting sales content and become content rich. The price for you is a no-brainer. And before you say there are so many AI tools, I see this AI content every single day that is not converting. So let me show you how exactly to use AI. So it's not that generic, that vague thing that everyone is posting. So you blend in, because that's what's happening. Don't lie to yourself. But when you learn the principles, this is when your content, written with AI or without it, is going to convert 100%. Send me a DM, request the promo code, and let's do it. Thank you so much for being with me over these 5 days. Share with me your breakthroughs, your feedback. I would be happy to get your testimonials, your feedback, your questions, anything. And I will see you again soon somewhere else or in Content Rich. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day, your week. See you again. Bye.